Are you feeling the stirrings of something unspoken? An inner shift in your connection to the divine masculine or divine feminine? Perhaps you're sensing subtle changes within yourself or your relationships, but can't quite grasp what they mean. If you've been seeking clarity, direction, or a deeper understanding of these energetic dynamics, know that you're not alone. These feelings are signs of a greater transformation unfolding within you. At Spiritual Universe, we've created this space to bring forward a collective energy reading, one that flows intuitively without a set agenda. Today we're tuning into the divine masculine and divine feminine energies, allowing spirit to guide the message in its purest form. Our intention is to provide insights that help you find alignment, healing, and truth. Whether you're navigating a twin flame journey, healing old patterns, or awakening to new spiritual insights, this reading is here to support you. By the end of this video, we believe you'll feel a deeper sense of clarity and connection. This isn't just about receiving information, it's about activating something within you. Through this shared energy, you may discover a new layer of your inner wisdom, release emotional weight, or simply feel seen and understood in a way that brings peace to your path. We invite you to stay with us until the very end. Let your heart lead, take in what resonates, and gently leave behind what doesn't. At Spiritual Universe, we trust that every message finds the soul it's meant for. Let's begin this sacred journey together. Number 1. The Divine Masculine in Isolation. The energy that opens this reading is striking and unmistakable. The card of deceit appears reversed, a powerful sign that truth is beginning to rise. Illusions are fading, and what was once hidden is now being brought into the light. This signals a divine masculine who is waking up to realities he may have long denied, both within himself and in his external world. Accompanying this is the Community card in reverse, revealing a masculine energy that has withdrawn from his surroundings. He is not engaging with others as he once did. Whether by choice or circumstance, he finds himself in isolation. This isn't mere loneliness. It's a soul-level retreat, a time of deep introspection. He's disconnecting from the noise to confront something more profound within. The Page of Wands in reverse further echoes this sense of stagnation, his spark, his enthusiasm, his forward momentum. It feels dimmed. He is suspended in a space where direction is unclear. There's a heaviness in his energy, as though he's walking through a dense fog, unable to see the path ahead. It's not that he lacks the desire to move forward, but that he no longer knows how. During this channeling, the letter M came through strongly. This may hold personal significance for some of you. Additionally, the number 7 revealed itself, a symbol often linked with divine alignment, inner awakening, and spiritual truth. It serves as a reminder that even in solitude, there is sacred purpose. This masculine is not lost. He is being recalibrated. In contrast, the divine feminine is vibrating on an entirely different frequency. Her energy is infused with the essence of 777, a number resonating with spiritual mastery, magnetic attraction, and divine timing. She is moving in rhythm with the universe, aligned with abundance, synchronicity, and flow. While the masculine wrestles with shadows, the feminine radiates light, becoming a beacon for what's possible on the other side of healing. Together, these energies tell a story, not of separation, but of preparation. One retreats to rediscover his truth. The other rises to hold space for what is yet to come. As we sit with this energy, take a moment to reflect. Have you felt this shift within yourself, or observed it in someone close to you? The divine masculine's solitude is not a sign of weakness, but a sacred pause for transformation. If this message resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to leave a comment below and share your experience, or simply type, "I trust the process," to affirm your alignment with divine timing. Don't forget to like this video if you're feeling the energy. It helps more souls find their way here. Now, let's continue and explore what the divine feminine is awakening within herself during this powerful phase. Number 2. The contrast between the feminine's rise and the masculine's retreat. In the evolving dynamic between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, a striking contrast begins to emerge. One that speaks not only to their personal growth, but to the emotional tides shaping their shared connection. The divine feminine stands in a season of expansion. She is aligning moment by moment with her desires, stepping boldly into her truth and allowing the energy of love, purpose, and intuition to guide her forward. Her heart remains open, her spirit awakened, and her soul illuminated by a higher calling. She is rising, and with that rise comes clarity, empowerment, and a deeper connection to the divine within herself. Meanwhile, the divine masculine finds himself submerged in a fog of introspection. While she moves with purpose and emotional honesty, he is caught between resistance and revelation. The connection that once pulsed with vibrant energy, a magnetic spark that drew them together, now seems distant, as if the fire that once warmed them both has been quietly reduced to embers. The momentum that once united them has stalled, and in its place is a lingering silence that speaks volumes. The divine feminine, with her open heart and intuitive knowing, may have felt the sting of heartbreak. She continued to pour into the connection, offering her emotional presence, spiritual insight, and unconditional care. Yet, in return, she often felt depleted, confused, and unseen. Her efforts to stir emotional vulnerability within him were sincere, rooted in love and a longing to see him awaken. She acted from a place of deep inner wisdom, her crown chakra upright and active, channeling divine understanding in hopes that he too would open. But where she chose vulnerability, the divine masculine chose retreat. He sensed the same powerful energy she did, yet instead of letting it wash over him and guide him to transformation, he resisted. He tried to suppress it, to contain it, to postpone the inevitable spiritual awakening that this union was destined to ignite within him. His instinct was to control the emotional storm rather than surrender to it, unaware that the very act of resistance was delaying his path to healing. This stark divergence between their journeys doesn't mark a failure. It marks a turning point. While she ascends into her fullness, he is being called to face his own inner shadows. The question is no longer about where they once were together, but where each must go individually to find the strength, truth, and awakening that will ultimately bring them home to themselves, and perhaps one day back to each other. Number 3. Energetic resistance and the pattern of withdrawal. Within the intricate dance of the divine union, a subtle but powerful energetic pattern begins to take shape. A pattern that leaves the divine feminine feeling both magnetized and mystified. The divine masculine's resistance creates a cycle that becomes increasingly familiar. The more she leans in with love, care, and emotional generosity, the more he pulls away. Each time she offers her presence, her warmth, her nurturing spirit, he responds with silence or detachment. Affection, attention, and emotional intimacy, once given freely, are suddenly withheld, as though he's building a wall between himself and the very connection that could set him free. This withdrawal is not an act of punishment, nor is it born from a lack of feeling. Rather, it's rooted in fear, an unconscious, energetic recoil from the deep transformation this bond demands of him. And yet, paradoxically, the moment the divine feminine pulls her energy back, he resurfaces. He may reach out again, offer glimpses of tenderness, or attempt to reconnect, almost as if sensing the void her absence creates. This push-pull dynamic becomes a dance of longing and resistance, not born of conscious manipulation, but of deeply ingrained energetic patterns and emotional wounding. At the heart of it, the divine masculine is not immune to her energy. Far from it. Her light stirs something ancient within him. Her presence triggers dormant parts of his soul that long for healing, for reunion, for peace. But to embrace that healing, he must surrender to vulnerability, and this is where the struggle begins. Vulnerability feels like exposure, and exposure feels dangerous to someone who has been conditioned to suppress, control, and protect himself from emotional risk. The divine feminine, in her deep wisdom and capacity for love, senses his pain and yearns to hold space for his awakening. She gives, not to fix him, but because it is in her nature to love fully. Yet with each offering, she is met with retreat, and over time, this unbalanced exchange begins to weigh on her spirit. Confusion sets in. Why does her love seem to push him further away? Why does her radiant energy, which is meant to heal, seem to trigger his fear? This pattern, though painful, is part of the journey. It reveals not only the work the masculine must do to face his inner shadows, but also the feminine's own call to self-honoring, learning when to give and when to stand in sovereign stillness. As their energies continue to evolve, this dance of resistance and return holds within it the seeds of transformation. But only when both are willing to meet themselves and each other in truth can the cycle be broken and union truly begin. To truly grasp this pattern of energetic resistance, imagine a flame and a moth. The flame represents the divine feminine, radiant, transformative, and alive with the power of love. The moth, symbolizing the divine masculine, is instinctively drawn to the light, compelled by its beauty and warmth. But as he gets closer, the heat becomes overwhelming. He retreats, not because he doesn't desire the flame, but because it threatens to burn through the layers he's used to protect himself. And yet, when the flame dims or pulls back, the moth drifts near again, drawn by the silence, the emptiness, the ache left behind. This dance plays out not in words, but in energy, in the invisible language of longing and fear. The feminine may feel confused by his retreat, believing she did something wrong, but in truth, her light is doing exactly what it was meant to do: stir the sleeping parts of his soul. The challenge is not to dim that light, but to trust that its brilliance is enough, and to know that true love doesn't chase, it simply shines. Number 4. The feminine's call to leap forward. There comes a pivotal moment on the twin flame journey where the divine feminine is no longer asked to wait, but to rise. Patience has been her loyal companion through every high and low, through every silent phase and subtle shift. She has held space, believing in the power of the connection, sensing the deep soul bond that runs beneath the surface. The masculine is healing, yes, but his progress is slow and often clouded by avoidance, fear, and inner resistance. Meanwhile, the feminine soul is awakening to something more urgent, more expansive, her own becoming. She now stands at the edge of a threshold. She feels the pull to leap, not away from love, but toward her higher self. The universe is speaking clearly now. It is time to redirect energy from waiting and hoping into growing and ascending. Every time she overextends, gives too much, or holds back her light in order to support him, she unintentionally enables his stagnation. The masculine cannot awaken through her sacrifice. He must rise from within. And so, the feminine is being guided to protect her energy, to choose herself not out of ego, but from a place of divine alignment. This connection may still be magnetic, soulful, and eternal, but the lesson here is one of sovereignty. A twin flame who is not yet whole can become a karmic weight, anchoring her to an old cycle of longing and depletion. Now, she is being asked to lovingly release the need to carry both halves of the connection. This may look like stepping back from communication, redefining emotional boundaries, or even opening her heart to other possibilities, not to escape the bond, but to honor her freedom within it. In doing so, she plants new seeds of detachment, of power, of trust in divine timing. Her leap forward is not a goodbye, but a sacred act of alignment with her soul's evolution. And from this space of wholeness, love will either rise to meet her or fall away, so that something greater can take its place. Number 5. Planting seeds through detachment. When the divine feminine chooses herself, when she steps back, reclaims her power, and honors her own path, she is not abandoning the connection. She is planting a sacred seed in the heart of the divine masculine. This seed carries the potential for deep transformation, but like all things in nature, it must grow in its own time. She cannot water it with force, nor demand it to bloom on her schedule. Her role now is not to nurture his soil, but to cultivate her own garden. The lesson here is one of surrender. Just as a gardener cannot tug a seedling out of the earth before it's ready, she must release attachment to the outcome. Her healing does not guarantee his, and her progress is not a substitute for his awakening. The most powerful thing she can do now is to trust the process, trust the separation, and trust that her detachment, rooted in love, not resentment, creates the space he needs to face his own reflection. The guidance from the universe is loud and clear. Release anything that weighs you down. This includes not only limiting beliefs and past pain, but also relationships, no matter how divine, that consistently pull you out of alignment. Start listening to your body, your emotions, your energy. How does this connection make you feel right now? Are you uplifted, inspired, and empowered? Or are you walking on eggshells, anxious and diminished? No matter the depth of the soul bond, energy doesn't lie. And the truth is, you deserve more than longing. You deserve to be seen, supported, and celebrated, not just in theory, but in presence and action. Choosing yourself isn't rejection, it's resurrection. It's a declaration that your light will no longer be dimmed to match someone else's shadows. So plant your seeds, then let go. Trust that what is meant for you will rise in divine timing. And know that every step you take toward your own expansion is an invitation for love to meet you at your level, or for something even greater to find its way to you. If you've made it this far, it means your soul is ready for deeper truths and powerful transformation. This journey isn't easy, but your willingness to grow, to reflect, and to choose yourself is a sign of incredible strength. Take a moment to ask yourself, where in my life am I being called to let go, and what new seeds am I ready to plant? We'd love to hear your story, whether you're in the middle of the storm or finding peace in the calm after it. Leave a comment below and share your experience, or simply affirm your growth by typing, "I choose myself, and I trust the timing of my soul." Your words may inspire someone else who needs to hear them. Number 6, awakening and realignment. Right now, the divine feminine is moving through a profound spiritual awakening, a powerful activation that is realigning her with her soul's highest calling. The energy of the crown chakra is lighting up once more, guiding her to rise above fear, confusion, and past conditioning. She is being gently but firmly redirected toward her divine purpose, reminded that she no longer needs to carry the emotional weight of an unawakened or unavailable masculine. That burden is not hers to hold. It's time to put it down and step into the light of her own sovereignty. The message is clear. It's not about waiting to be seen, loved, or chosen by someone else. It's about recognizing that she is already whole, already enough. The appreciation energy flows through her now, whispering a sacred truth. You are worthy of being cherished, not just by others, but by yourself first. The journey begins with self-love. It begins with celebrating her own beauty, her intuition, her strength, and her sacred presence. As she embraces her worth, she radiates a frequency that naturally draws in all that is aligned and gently releases all that is not. For those walking the twin flame path, this phase may feel especially intense. The physical connection with the counterpart might currently be in chaos, confusion, or painful separation. And yet, on a soul level, the bond remains unbreakable. The love that exists between twin flames transcends time, space, and even current reality. This connection is eternal, even when it is silent, even when it feels like letting go. The call now is to trust. Trust the divine timing. Trust the guidance coming through your higher self and spiritual team. Trust that, even if the path is leading you away from your counterpart in the physical, it is guiding you closer to yourself, to peace, and to divine alignment. Surrender is not defeat. It is the doorway to transformation. Allow the present moment to shape you, to teach you, to strengthen you. You are being prepared for something greater than you've imagined. The divine feminine is not losing love. She is remembering what real love is, and in that remembrance, she is reclaiming her power. Number 7, the end of energetic enmeshment. A major shift is unfolding on the twin flame journey, one that calls for deep personal accountability and energetic clarity. The era of spiritual codependence is coming to an end. This is the moment where both the divine masculine and divine feminine are being asked to take full responsibility for their own healing, growth, and awakening. The training wheels are off. The soul contracts that once allowed one partner to carry the energetic weight of the other are now dissolving. No longer can either counterpart lean on the other as an emotional crutch or delay their inner work. This is the season of sovereignty, and it is non-negotiable. For the divine feminine in particular, This shift may feel intense and disorienting. She's being called to fully return to herself, to embody her divine essence without apology, without waiting, and without seeking validation from her counterpart or anyone else. If she's been feeling disconnected from love, facing emotional blocks, or experiencing periods of loneliness or romantic isolation, it's not a punishment, it's divine redirection. The universe is guiding her to remember that love does not begin with another. It begins within. This sacred pause, this temporary silence in her romantic life, is not an absence, but an initiation. It is a time for purification, for recalibration, for deep integration of the lessons she's already learned. The message is clear. Before she can fully unite with anyone else, she must first unite with herself. Only by stepping into her full power and wholeness can she magnetize the relationships, romantic, platonic, or spiritual, that reflect her elevated frequency. This is a crucial turning point on the path to union, not necessarily union with another, but union with self. And from that place of inner harmony, everything that is meant for her will find its way, naturally, effortlessly, and without struggle. Let this be a time of sacred reclamation, a time to detach from outdated patterns of energetic enmeshment and to rise into the truth of who you are, whole, worthy, and divinely guided. Number 8. From attachment to empowerment. The divine feminine is in the midst of a powerful evolution. She is rising into her sacred identity as the goddess of the moon, mystical, intuitive, radiant, and deeply in tune with her inner wisdom. This transformation is not just symbolic, it is energetic. She is no longer the seeker of external validation, she is becoming the source. But to fully step into this divine power, she must release everything that keeps her tethered to a lesser version of herself. Old wounds, outdated beliefs, limiting attachments, and the illusion that her worth is tied to anyone else's awakening. Though the masculine counterpart may currently be trapped in a mental prison, bound by fear, ego, or indecision, the truth is, only he can unlock that door. She cannot rescue him, fix him, or carry him across the threshold of healing. That is his soul's task. Her role is different now. She must embody freedom. She must radiate liberation, so she becomes a living mirror of what's possible. In choosing her own expansion, she becomes a silent invitation for others to rise, not through force, but through inspiration. The appearance of the World card signals that the divine feminine has been holding herself back. Whether in her spiritual path, emotional expression, or career aspirations, she has been playing small, perhaps out of fear of overshadowing others, or making loved ones uncomfortable with her growth. But her spirit guides are clear in their message. Expand anyway. You are not meant to shrink for the comfort of others. You are meant to rise, to soar, and to show what's possible when a soul fully embraces its divine calling. True empowerment does not ask permission. It leads with authenticity, grace, and fierce love. By choosing herself, the divine feminine not only honors her own path, she becomes a beacon for all who are still trapped in the illusion of limitation. Her light doesn't dim others. It helps them remember their own. This is not the end of love. It is the beginning of sacred empowerment. From attachment to embodiment, from waiting to walking forward, she is no longer defined by what was. She is becoming what she was always meant to be. Before we move on to the next part of this journey, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life have you been dimming your light to make others feel comfortable? Are there areas where you've been holding back your true power out of attachment or fear? Your story matters, and your voice can inspire others who are walking this path too. If this message resonates with you, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below, or simply type, "I choose to expand, not shrink." Let this be your declaration of self-love and empowerment. Number 9. Magnetizing support through self-empowerment. When the divine feminine stands fully in her power, she becomes an unstoppable magnetic force. No longer chasing, proving, or overextending, she naturally draws toward her everything she needs to fulfill her sacred mission. Her energy shifts from seeking to receiving, and in this receptive state, the universe rises to meet her. Support begins to flow from all directions, whether through divine timing, unexpected opportunities, or soul-aligned connections. One of those connections may be a masculine energy returning, perhaps the very same one who once walked away. But now he reappears transformed, awakened, and heart-opened, carrying the echoes of his own inner healing. And yet, this reconnection may still feel uncertain, flickering between warmth and distance. Why? Because it reflects a deeper truth within the divine feminine herself. She is still walking the bridge between two worlds, the old paradigm of 3D codependency, where love is tied to need and control, and the higher path of 5D empowerment, where love flows from wholeness, sovereignty, and divine trust. The masculine's hot and cold behavior is not a punishment, it's a mirror. It invites her to examine where she may still be wavering between fear and faith, between clinging and allowing, between limitation and liberation. In this sacred space of inner evolution, the divine feminine is being called to master the art of holding her frequency steady. She is learning to walk the path of alignment, where her vibration becomes her compass and her boundaries become her strength. This journey is not about forcing outcomes or fixing others. It's about remembering her own radiance and choosing the timeline of freedom, love, and divine co-creation. The more she honors her truth, the more life will respond in kind, magnetizing every soul, opportunity, and experience that aligns with her highest good. And so, we at Spiritual Universe offer you this final message, the right choice. It is more than a card. It is a sacred reminder to listen to the quiet wisdom of the heart. As Rumi teaches, not every boiling pot is cooking what you want. In a world filled with distractions and illusions, not everything that appears sweet will nourish you, and not every path leads to truth. The heart alone knows what is real. It knows where the soul belongs. When we follow its guidance, we align with what is timeless, rooted like a tree in eternal bloom, sheltering us with peace, presence, and purpose. The guidebook affirms, let the heart wisdom that silently broadcasts its pure intention into the universe lead the way. This is the journey of the divine feminine, a return to her true self, a deep trust in her heart's intelligence, and an allowing of that inner light to draw all that is meant for her. When she chooses this path, not from fear, but from love, the divine masculine within the universe responds, not with urgency, but with a knowing. What took you so long? I've been waiting for you. We are here to remind you that the right choice is never found in the noise of the world, but always in the stillness within. Trust your heart, choose love, and walk the path that is calling you home. If this message speaks to your soul, comment below with the words, "Let the heart lead." And if you feel guided, please like this video, share it with someone who may need it, and continue your journey by watching the video just below this screen. The next message may be exactly what your heart has been waiting for.